So we're live, I tell thee, live. Welcome. I'll just get my camera right, and we'll get into. It's been a busy old day in the body of the Kirk today, so we'll get to the parish notes as quickly as possible. Let me just give me gogs a wipe. I'm not suggesting there's anything untoward on my lenses, but they tend to get a bit steamed up when I'm doing a live. I mean, I can't even see my bloody phone with that ring light. Not that you can see the ring light, obviously, but jokes ahoy! Right. Still no better. Hang on a second. Let me just see if I can dim that. Right. That'll be fine. I've done that. So welcome to the body of the Kirk. I've got a bit of an announcement to make regarding Sister Mary, who is, she's indisposed at the moment. We thought we'd open the body of the Kirk up to some local businesses, just so, they can get their feet under the table and they don't have to charge too much. And Sister Mary, bless her, had a word with some local Turkish barbers. I mean, I don't know where they came from. They were not here one day and then here the next. And I said to Sister Mary, well, go and have a word with them and see what they need, and we'll help them out in the body of the Kirk. They can obviously just take the vestry, and then when the congregation, the flock, come into the body of the Kirk, they can have Battenberg, altar wine, and a haircut of both sexes. I said, so I want to know if they'll do a short back and sides and a Brazilian. She said, Your Eminence, I know what a short back and sides is. It's one of those old-fashioned, trendy haircuts, but I don't know what a Brazilian is. Well, that's when it all kicked off, because I told her what a Brazilian was, and she went, what? They do what to what? Oh, I say, she came all faint. So the choir boys are applying some smelling salts to Sister Mary, who didn't know what a Brazilian was, knows what a Brazilian is now, and it was a bit too much for her. I think it might have been the weather, the heat, if you know what I mean. But maybe over the next few days, those Turkish barbers might, a little topiary, they'll be able to help her with a bush, and she'll be able to be a woman of the world, of the global majority, and have herself a Brazilian. I think. Anyway, so we've said don't rush yourself. The beer garden's open, but don't rush yourself. We don't want you to get faint when the parishioners enter the body of the Kirk. So welcome one and all, ya utter wrong'uns. I hope you enjoyed something a little different for our 200th live last night. I enjoyed presenting it to you. It was much fun. So this evening we've got a lot to talk about. The sermon is some size, let me tell you. It's a long thing, the sermon, before you start. Although length has never been a challenge for me. We've started really early and we've not really got plenty in the body of the Kirk. So, from the pulpit of truth to the pews of justice, the body of the Kirk is now open for your delectation and entertainment. So Neil Cunningham says, we'll do some parish notes before we get into the sermon. Neil Cunningham says, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Adrian, for a fun evening last night. Oh, you're most welcome, Neil. I really enjoyed it. And everybody that took part, it's kind of supporting the channel because, I did say last night, and thank you for your very kind words, Neil. I just want this channel to be a full 360. So, my interviewing technique, my presentation skills, my character and personality, and I'll bring all of the tools and skills that I've used in my radio career to this channel. I don't want it to be just one way. So there'll be quizzes that some people love and some people don't. There'll be little humorous musical videos, which we put up at 10 o'clock last night when we were doing the live. Doing very well today, so I hope that's entertained everybody and brought a smile to their face, because, this is also satire. What we do is humour, jokes and satire. And it's a social commentary channel, so I can talk about literally anything that these goggly eyes see. Neil Cunningham says, I went to buy a new car today, a 2021 Vauxhall Insignia. Budget was about £8,000, so I asked Sir Keir Starmer to negotiate the terms, so I ended up paying $2 million for a 12-year-old Hyundai. That is the way, Neil. That is absolutely, and we're going to talk about that, Eustace. how can I say something that's not completely disrespectful? We're going to talk about that useless arsewipe tonight. So thank you, Neil. Les Griffiths is getting ready to just explode, I tell thee. Stuart says, evening, Rev. Evening all. Evening, yeah, wrong. Really enjoyed the quiz last night. I hope we do more again soon. In the meantime, I think the Ranting Rev will be back in action this evening. Looking forward to it. You bet your sweet bippy, Stuart. And when I get to the sermon and tell you what the sermon's going to include, we've got at least 5 questions for you this evening because, well, I've missed one live last night. So we're going to do 5. I will tell thee that I have my domain to myself for a fortnight. So I literally, because, you know, in a family home, sometimes I can't do lives when I want to do lives, simply because there's all the stuff, family stuff going on. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm on my Todd. So I'm going to starve to death. And inevitably, as most lads know, it's either starving to death or takeaways. And my blood sugars are not very happy at the moment, so it can't be takeaways. So if I don't make it for any of the lives, and you don't hear or see from me, you know, I'm probably lying on the living room carpet going, oh dear, I don't feel well. I'm jesting, of course. So well, I just fancy working for a fortnight and doing as much as I can. So we'll see what we can do over the next 2 weeks now that I've been let out of jail. See what I did there? Neil Cunningham says, evening, Les and Stuart. Good to see you both in fine fettle. Oh, as always, Neil. And Les says, evening, Neil. What do you think of the Rev's latest vid? I thought it was brilliant. Give me a right old chuckle. Thank you very much, Les. Thank you to the Scarlet Pimpernel who worked diligently. It was a labour of love. We loved putting that we loved putting that together. The Milli Vanilli of social media. Oh, it made us chuckle. If you know the Milli Vanilli story, I might tell you tonight, because Milli Vanilli, well, they weren't very original, were they? No, Reverend. So Neil says, oh, Les, it brightened up my Monday morning. Brilliantly put together. Well, as I say, we'll have a bit of a giggle. We'll do the serious when we need to be serious. We'll work hard when we need to work hard, but we're going to have some fun when we can. Les says, wonder what we will be discussing tonight. Oh, Les, let me tell thee. It's going to go from the sublime to the ridiculous because, well, that's what we do here. We're going to talk about some stuff, but not only some stuff. I'm going to give you insight. I'm going to put things on your radar that you might not be aware of. And as I've been saying for 18 months, individual digital identifiers. So I'm going to give you some insight into what is going on. Tony Blair wants to make millions. Well, he can, in the words of the great Chinese philosopher, Foxtrot Oscar. Stuart says, evening, Neil, Phil Thorpe. Great quiz last night, but could you fit some general knowledge questions in? All right, yeah, next one we do, Phil. I think I will tend to put it to music. I know the rough age range of the audience that watches these lives. So we'll just have another go. They will change every time because I don't want to make it easy for some and then difficult for others. I want people to try and get between 4 and 6 questions right every single round. And I do put some real stinkers in there, like Lady Gaga's real name last night. Stumped everybody, I think. Yes, Phil, thank you very much for that. Welcome back to the Body of the Kirk. Les Griffith says there are vacancies for gardeners on royal estates. Oh, I say, Les, I was reading that story today. Oh, Charles the Weak, he's proper brassed people off. Oh, I might be your gardeners, but you know, I watch Adrian Allen. You can Foxtrot Oscar, mate. Can you imagine? Off with his head. So yeah, should we all go to the royal estates and kind of dig for victory? Must be willing to work for a pittance. Tug the forelock. I'm not doing any tugging on any of these lives. I can get arrested for that. And know your place. I do. In my office. Grafting. Head down. Arse up. Don't park your bike. Neil Cunningham says, thought occurred to me today. Are Rod Hull and Camilla Parker Bowles twins that was that was separated at birth? Neil, I think you might have a thing there. Bless her. I was going to ask about the royals. We'll talk about the royal family in a second. But have you noticed that every time, poor Camilla, I mean, she's just not getting the lickings of a dog. Don't start making your own gags up. But it was her birthday at the weekend, and have a guess who trotted out the usual bullshit. Well, yes, the Montecito shit show. the two of them, Hoddit and Doddit. And you know, every time one of the major royals wants to do something, oh, fan my brow, there's young Meghan. Oh, have you seen my cheese? Would you like to taste my rosé? Or is that what you're calling it now? Is that just water from the yacht? Yes, Neil, I feel sorry for Camilla. I can't call her Queen Camilla. It's just not my bag, mate. I'm just, you know, I'm a royalist, but I'm not a royalist. I'm a royalist, and Diana should have been queen. Although I did, you know, when Charles was coronated, William completely. He did liege man of whatever it was. You know, Your Majesty, the Queen is dead. Long live the King. All that. William, future King of England, King Billy, has never been one of those since 1066. He completely ignored Camilla. My mother should have been sitting there, not my stepmother, me mother. Right, I'm going to go and get on the lash, and once I'm on the lash, if I say anything inappropriate, I'm blaming the beer and Catherine. Can you imagine? Because, you know, they don't even speak bloody English. Bloody thing. They don't talk English. And for hundreds of years, the royals and the elite have spoken French fluently. So, just thought I'd say. Stuart says the video last night was very good, Rev. The thumbnail made me laugh. It made me and the Scarlet Pimpernel burst our incontinence pants for days. It was that funny. And you know, actually, YouTube chose that thumbnail. Oh, he's upset YouTube. Les Griffith says, oh, Phil, general knowledge would be good. I had thought of phoning now and then would be good too, but with the recent trolling, I now have my doubts. Oh, Les, what? People ringing and phoning going, oi, you, off. Not like I've handled a million of those before. So let me tell you the story. And this is the wonderful thing about phone-ins, and that's why I want to do a professional phone-in, not as some people are doing, where they give you a phone number and they can only take one call at a time. And I do believe that there are certain people who are arranging callers. He knows, I know exactly what the game is and can spot it a million miles away. But let me get you to a real professional phone-in. So on a professional phone-in, you have 8 seconds of delay. So at the beginning of the show, you kind of yada, talk quite a bit, play a theme tune, and take about 20 minutes for the delay machine, the gubbins, technical term that we use in late night radio, to build up an 8 seconds of delay. So that if anybody goes, oi, you, Foxtrot Oscar, you kind of go, dump. The powers that be, Ofcom now, they can go, oh, so you took appropriate action. Yes, it was a mistake. Live defence and all that. And then, so what I used to do, I'd line all the callers up, but I would use 3.5 seconds and 3.5 seconds and a little second right at the end. So I could press dump and then go straight to the next caller. But I also used a technique called shitting them up. So people would call in and they would go, oh, I'm going to get him. And I go, hello, you're so-and-so, you're live on Century 106 or LBC or wherever, whenever, Century, Real Radio, all the phone-ins that I've done. And they build themselves up to go, oh, yo, think you're clever, you can Foxtrot Oscar. So me knowing that I've got 3.5 seconds, which is a lifetime in broadcasting, I'd say, no, young sir, you can Foxtrot Oscar. Obviously not using Foxtrot Oscar. It's the word fuck and off. So what would happen is if you have a load of people on hold waiting to come on air, that person would say that. I would say my retort, and then I'd dump both. But the people listening live on hold would hear him say something, or her for that matter, and then me go, no, you can Foxtrot Oscar yourself. And literally everybody else would go, shit, hello, Adrian, I'm a first-time caller. Brilliant, wonderful, welcome to the phone-in. But it's a technique that only if you're quick and you're clever can you use it. Because if you kind of go and you miss the 3.5 seconds, he's just said Foxtrot Oscar live on air, and you're going, oh, for crying out loud, this bloody machinery, man. And then Ofcom will go, hello, did somebody say Foxtrot Oscar? But I never got caught. So, Les, honestly, that's why I want to do my phone in. Because my phone in is leagues and leagues and leagues above what anybody else can do, apart from the people that have done it. And there are lots of people that haven't done it and wouldn't know. Learn. Watch and learn, Rodney. Watch and learn. So I'm kind of setting myself up for a failure, but we are. I couldn't get it done for last night, but I've got one of those Rodecaster Pro 2s that, and I've now got a lead. It cost me an arm and a leg to go into my phone. So I'm now going to, and the Rodecaster Pro 2 was a very, 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 very generous birthday and Christmas present from the new Mrs. Allen, because I thought I was going to have to go and flog my arse down Soho for it. But so all of that is, and there's lots to do. I'm only just getting started, and we've got the third birthday. Third birthday coming up in early September. So, and I would love more than anything to do a phone in, but I'm not using a Skype phone. I want to do it properly, and there are some software bits and pieces that we are looking at. So thank you, Les. Thank you for the suggestion. And yes, we're going to be on it like a car bonnet. Neil says, too many opportunities for the convicted stalker's henchmen to try and destroy what is an excellent channel. You're very kind, Neil. But as we have seen over the last week or so, we just ban them. What it also means is that these idiots don't understand how life works. And this is how it works. You say anything in the comments and it's derogatory and possibly illegal and contravenes YouTube's community guidelines. It's not for me to deal with it. It's for YouTube to deal with it. And I have, because of the way the system works, I have all of the comments that they've made. Although they've been shadow banned, two last night. They're sad little individual people. We know who the two of them are, Hoddit and Doddit. We know exactly who they are because of the way that they speak in the comments. But thank you, Neil. Thank you for the concern. I love it, mate. I love it. I love it. I mean, can you imagine? The best they've got is Foxtrot Oscar. I mean, I would keep them on. Is that the best you've got? A bit like, was it a couple of weeks ago when somebody was going blah, 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 blah. And I said, right, okay, just explain to me how you got to that determination. I can't, they're not bright enough. Anybody with any semblance of intelligence is just like, mate, man. Foxtrot Oscar. Agincourt. What do you mean, Adrian? What's Agincourt? Don't you know? The Boers at Agincourt, when we beat the French. I've told you before, the French are shite at fighting. Absolutely pants. Les says, I predicted what would happen prior to his release from prison. Les, me and you need to chat, man. Stuart says he'd be phoning in, doing a bloody Savile impression. Now then. How many little girls have you got on your knee? How many little 8-year-olds are you shagging on BBC property? Just asking for a friend, because that's what Savile did. Paulie Galtieri, good evening, Adrian. You're utter wrong'un. Hope you've had a good day. It's been fabulous. Peace and quiet. I love peace and quiet, me. I mean, obviously, I'm going to miss her terribly. But she's abroad in sunshine and she's happy as a pig in shite, and I'm at home starving. Les Griffith says, I live near Scarborough. Love it, Les, love it. And it amazes me that the people of Scarborough don't campaign to get Savile removed from the cemetery. He has no place in consecrated ground. Oh, he's evil, abjectly evil, Les. And did they not remove the headstone, which was like this monstrosity? Mind you, I think he's flat that overlooked the place where the Yorkshire Ripper killed one of his victims has been demolished because they'd worked it out. Tom Harney says, evening all, have we all recovered from last night's marvellous quizzing? All that was missing was a golden Battenberger's. Oh, what a great idea, Tom Harney's. A golden Battenberger's a first prize. Can you imagine? Try eating that. That won't smell very fragrant the day after. Paulie Galtieri says, he's encased in concrete. It's almost like his last act of trolling. Yeah, I would have cut his schmeckle off. That would have been brilliant. Because then even in the afterlife he couldn't. I mean, the Egyptians might... you are aware of the... Because I've been to Egypt and had a look at some of the tombstones and stuff. They had quite a thing about schmeckles, didn't they? The Egyptians. So if it was young Saville, I would chop it off. So we could say the last thing he ever did was... no, I'm not going to make gags about that. Paul Butterfield says, hello, Les, a fellow Yorkshireman here. I'm originally from Filey, but now living with the rats in Birmingham. North Yorkshire, biggest county in this country, 3,000 square miles. Oi, 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 oi. Les says, hello, mate, I've been to Birmingham once. It was enough. I used to work there in the jewellery quarter for Buzz FM. Worked there for a couple of years, running Buzz FM. Oh, it's fabulous, fabulous. I can't tell you those stories. Soul Rebel, evening all, Your Eminence. Evening, Soul Rebel. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. As I say, make sure you can get into the pews of justice because the pulpit of truth is going to deliver tonight. And if you want the gag, do you deliver? Yes, we deliver. Right, I'll have... All right. Les, I had a chance of a work transfer to Wolverhampton in the early 90s. Turned it down flat, says Les. Right, let's get to the bottom. Oh, hang on a second. Who's that? Phil Sumner. Evening all, and Adrian, you're looking well, buddy. Here's looking forward to another insightful live. Oh, I think you're definitely going to get that. Tocker69. Give it to him. So, give it to him. And then ban him. Yeah, is that... yeah. Neil Cunningham, Roadcaster is expensive, but you get what you pay for. I do agree. StreamYard, all the other people use in it. Thank you, Mike. Whoa, don't know where that came from. StreamYard allows people to do professional stuff. But I want to do professional stuff because I can do professional stuff. So I'm looking at quality control. I want a stud muffin working for me, or stud muffiness, to work with me and answer to phone, and just because I know when a phone in has set up callers on it. I know. Talk 69, evening, Adrian, all you utter wrong-uns of the Kirk. So. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. As I say, Sister Mary is just is being looked after with a bit of smelling salts after finding out what a Brazilian is and what it does to what. Carl Warpy. Hi Adrian. You've seen was Jimmy Savile a wizard on YouTube? I think that's one of the videos that talks about Jimmy Savile's flat, isn't it? I can't remember. Tablock Tracy. Guy puts condom on, wrong way round. He went. Evening, Adrian, and all you wrong-uns from Ian McGee. I see you, says to TBT. Shh. And Napoleon Blown Apart says, what's the difference between a tyre and 365 used condoms? One's a good year, the other's a great year. Yeah, the whole ones are always the best ones. Les Griffiths says, forgive my ignorance, but how are followers and views bought on social media? So from someone that'll be in the body of the Kirk but doesn't really chatter that much, they listen and also catch up. That oh, hang on a second, see if I can remember it. It's Social Blade. That's it. There's a website called Social Blade that will look at how a channel's doing. You can put YouTube and Instagram and some of the other socials in. So when you get something like, I don't know, and I'm just talking randomly off the top of my head and about no particular YouTube channel at all. But if you get sort of 13,000 subs on a weekend, with that, Mr. Beast doesn't get that. So if you're also getting 3 million views and no subs, the views are being bought because exponentially. I tell you, I'm not particularly bothered by my subs or my likes or my views, because that's for other people. I'm more, for this channel, I'm more about improving the quality of my broadcast, of the guests, of everything that I deliver to you. For me, it's all about quality. So I would rather work on that. But there are other people that will get 20,000 views and like 1,000 subs. And this social blade thing that I don't know how to use, you can, evening Jane Psychic, you can, I think it's a separate business, but I also know the reason why I don't touch anything and do anything with this channel is because sometimes you'll see me subs go up and you'll see me subs go down. And I think, I've said this to you before, I think this is also about people who are not, who are sub to the channel, but they don't really interact with it. So they're not, right, thank you, By the Wolf Project. Social Blade gives you stats on how a channel performs. Social Plug, QQ Tube are bot farms where you can buy views, shares, likes, etc. on all social media platforms. Look, my X profile, it's only got like 600 subs, but it's I'm not interested in that stuff. I'm more, because I know that if I bring quality to the channel, ultimately people will subscribe to it. And if I do little videos, little funny videos or lives with a lot of information and value in it, people will like it. It's as simple as that. But the human ego takes over, and they've got to have hundreds of thousands of subs. And as I say, we're not all Mr. Beast. I'm just very happy just dondering about. And if I can get through 10,000, I get a YouTube manager. Because once you get through 10,000 subs, and we're only a couple of hundred away from it, you get a manager, and the manager helps you grow your channel exponentially. So I'm happy to take guidance and advice. Des Ashton says, good evening to all you Battenbergers and utter wrong'uns. Live 301. Sorry, that should have been 201. That's me eyesight shot. I'll change it once I've finished the live. Have I been asleep for a while? Get them likes smashed. Yes, please. If we can get, as I say, whilst I'm doing the live, there's more than enough people. We're getting close to 200 watching currently. So if we can get over to 200 likes, it kind of just informs the algorithm that the channel's doing quite well, because 200 likes on a live is fairly substantial. In my view, I'd rather earn the subs than buy them. Stuart, it's just a game. I'm not willing to play that game. As they say, you know, to play a game, you've got to have two sides. I'm just going to come here, tell you when I'm doing the lives, do me videos, do me interviews. Hopefully the interviews will be with people that you find interesting, a la Rogan. Neil Cunningham, oh, you're wrong. My X profile was banned. Cheers, Keir. Oh, well, wait till I tell you what I'm going to tell you. So tonight, brilliant. From YouTube Studio, you can see where your views are coming from, which country. From as little as £4, you can buy 1,000 views or 250 subs. Bloody hell. I'm a tight-ass northerner. I'm not going to spend money. I'd rather graft my sphericals off and allow myself open to the vagaries of YouTube and social media, because that way is integrity. And I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. Absolutely anyone. That people can do what they want to do with their own YouTube channel. I just know that I have integrity, and I'm not going to square that with anything or anyone that's going to queer it, if you know what I mean. Oh bagger, I see you is also banned from X. So parish notes delivered. Next live number 202 for Des tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:30. Well, I'll be on about quarter past 20 past. But the pulpit of truth will be here for at least 2 hours tonight. And the pews of justice are the audience, and they will return. Both will return 7:30 Tuesday night, and then we have another live on Wednesday. I'm going to, I don't want every single live that I do to be about the convicted stalker. So we're going to, well, I might talk about him later on. In fact, I know I'm going to talk about him later on. But the main stuff that I want to talk to you about is going to be tomorrow night. I'll do it in the first hour tomorrow night. And I promise you, you will be very, very, very interested in what I've got to say. The only thing I'm going to say tonight is watch out for the smoke and mirrors. So when somebody says, oh, yeah, we're only four seats away from selling out in Blackpool, it's not the Joe Longthorne Theatre, which is a 1,500 capacity. It's the Joe Longthorne, is it Lounge or something or other, with a maximum capacity of 150. So remember, somebody might say, I've sold out the Joe Longthorne Lounge or whatever it's called. It's only 150 seats. I mean, there are some other big names there that they've got nowhere near. 30 quid a ticket if you want to buy the tickets, but it's only 150 seats. Now, I completely understand it's a great strategy if you're a bit rusty because you've been in jail for 2.5 years and you've got the sword of Damocles hanging over your head. You don't want to go in with a 1,500 capacity venue because you might not fill it, but fill 150 seats. The words that he will use is, I've sold out Blackpool. Just warning you, watch out for the smoke and mirrors. That's showbiz. So we'll do a major Dougie tomorrow night. Thank you to everyone who took part in last night's quiz. It was very, very, very enjoyable. I know there's two parts of the body of the Kirk. Some like a quiz, some don't. And for those who don't like, I'm sure they'll have returned this evening. We're going to talk about poor little Gaza and what I suggest we do. We're going to talk about digital ID. It'll be the why. But I've been telling you for 18 months that now it becomes critical. A lot more people are going, oh, I say, did you really? Did you really tell us that, Adrian? Yes, I did. Europe, what are they doing? We're seeing through that. And remember, when I tell you about countries that's going on. So tonight, I'm going to tell you what's going on in Australia. I'm going to tell you what's definitely going on in Canada because it's all coming here. It's only a matter of time. Look, with Queer as Folk, Starmer, Funboy 3 and the Four Tops. Well, you know what's coming here, don't you? Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you the context and understanding. I'll also tell you, I've told you about the seas. So Caspian Sea, Black Sea. I'm going to tell you about the... oh, come on, Adrian. Jesus, I've forgotten the name of the sea. Hang on, let me. Do you know, I thought I'd written that down. Baltic Sea, that was it. So, Poland and the Baltic Sea. I'm going to tell you what it is, but anybody that's watched these lives and knows what's what, you know what I'm going to say. Starts with O and starts with G, and there's a shit ton of it under the Baltic Sea. Oh, and there's Europe going, well, you know, Poland, we might start fining you, and if you don't play ball with us, we might just send you the Foxtrot Oscar out of Europe. And Poland's like, ha, 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 ha. Really? Go on then. We don't care. Up yours. We've got a shit ton of trillions and trillions and trillions of euros of gas and oil. I'm going to tell you more about that later, because Poland might just up yours. We're not playing ball anymore. We've got a shit ton of money and we're going to spend it on coke and whores. A bit like some prime ministers. You didn't see me lips move. We're going to talk about the Garda in the Republic of Ireland. What are they being given? Touch your toes. It's coming. We're going to talk about yesterday, 56 years ago. Have you worked it out yet? Nobody mentioned it last night. Australia and the Iron Grip. Sounds like one of my ex-girlfriends. And hello, my name's David Beckham. Beckham Watch. What? I mean, it's bad enough his bollocks haven't dropped, and now he's gone bald. So we're going to tell you about Beckham Watch. He's back in the papers today. Another bloody day, another bloody Beckham story. So, yes, my name's David, yeah, and Lady Vic. Well, I'll explain later, because, well, I'm David Beckham. I'm an icon, and I'm a sir. So don't take the mickey out of me. Not that difficult, to be fair, David. And we're going to talk about something that you need to be right on the ball with. See what I did there? David Beckham, ball. Islamophobia. Labour are bending you over and they're going to stick it right in with no lube. Islamophobia. You just wait. Free speech in this country. Had a way in shape, man. Had a way. Have you seen it coming? And 2-tier Kia. Free gear Kia. Queer Kia. Queerest folk. I mean, you know, not to be too disrespectful about our Prime Minister. So do you want to get straight in? Hang on, I'll take a few more comments and then we'll get into everybody's saying hello. Did Beckham do the voice of Orville the Duck? I think so. If they squeezed these knackers, sorry, that's a technical term that we use in radio. Golden balls, shaven haven now. Yes, Stephen Hall, you're absolutely right. What's Stuart done now? Des Ashton, ahoy retro, bit of a swell on tonight. Speak for yourself, Des. It's too warm for me. Oh, wrong swell. Stephen Hall says Poland is a proud country and they've got no illegal immigrants. Retro on his bikes. Evening, Retro. Good to see you ashore, young sir. Tom Harney's, that'll save them a vote. And Les Griffin says, not sure if it's Poland or Hungary, but it's reported border guards are authorised to use live ammo to repel uninvited guests. Both, Les, both. And now that Poland have got more money than they know what to do with, they'll pave Poland with gold and they'll say to the illegal immigrants, try it, punk. How many bullets have I used? This is a Magnum 45-45. Yeah, we're going to talk about the moon landings, 1969, 40-odd. It was yesterday, July 20th, seemingly, that we didn't land on the moon. Bloody hell, man, Stuart. What I wasn't going to ask was the Rev do the voice for the whole live, I swear. Bloody hell, man, Stuart. I walk out of here like bloody John Wayne, man. Amalia Grassi says, Adrian, do you get a sore throat doing Beckham? Well, it depends if I'm on my knees or not, Amalia. Live 301. I know, Kaz. I know. I need to wear these. My bloody eyesight shot-ish. And me well-hung lesbian. Me fingers, fat fingers, missed the two. So, we got 229 watching now. And see if we can get another 20 or 30 likes in there. Because, hang on, book says, thong too tight. You'd heard the rumours. Stephen Hall, never believed we landed on the moon. Yeah, we'll talk about that. No, I'm not doing David Beckham. Only this voice is for when I do David Beckham. I swear to God. Gary Chabot. Shabbat, welcome, Gary. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Right, you're all comfortable now. You've got your Battenberg and your Alta wine or something a little sniffier. Des Ashton, this is a 44 Magnum, the largest handgun in the world. Do you feel lucky, punk? I mean, they talk like that in Poland and Hungary, but I keep telling you, and I, for those that may be new to the body of the Kirk and coming here on the recommendation of other people, I will tell you that the whole world is about two things. One, gas and oil. So if you look at the Caspian Sea, straight after 9/11, Putin was at Bush's ranch organising the American-Russian pipeline out of the Caspian Sea because in 2001 there was estimated 300 years worth of gas and oil under the Caspian Sea at consumption levels of 2001. Now the Ukraine-Russia war is about nothing other than the oil and gas under the Black Sea, which is why Russia will not give up Crimea. And now they've found bloody oil under the I've got the Balkans. I've got the Balkans in my head. I'll tell you about it later when I talk about. But the other thing that runs the world are the central banks, and we are so close to the Rothschilds owning every single central bank in the world. So there's only 6 central banks that they don't own. Nearly 150 countries, and there's only 6 that they don't own. They own the Fed in America, so they run America until Trump got in. So you've got Venezuela, so that's why Venezuela's always in the news cycle, because the Rothschilds want to get to the central bank in Venezuela. They want to get to the central bank in Syria. Oh, was that what the war in Syria was about? They want to get North Korea, business partners of the Donald. Russia, China, so Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. What, you think it's about being upset with the Iranians and the Israelis going, we're upset with Iran. The Rothschilds are bloody Jews, man. So that's why Israel is getting America to do their bidding against the Iranians. So it's not an Israeli-Iranian war. 12-day war is what they're calling it. Baltic Sea. Thank you, Des. But they're getting America to do their bidding against the Iranians. That's why the Donald's trying to negotiate peace. They want the central bank, and the central bank in Iran was closed down weeks ago. Shut down. Nobody can get access. Central bank. So Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, Syria they've now got, and who else? Hungary. I mean, little Hungary. So you've got the Europeans going, Hungary, yeah, you've got to allow illegal immigrants in. And Hungary's going, what? Foxtrot Oscar, man. We're not interested. Up yours. We'll decide who comes into our country. Same happened to Slobodan Milosevic. What do you mean, who's Slobodan Milosevic? He ran Yugoslavia. And the Americans and other countries, which I won't go into too much depth about, Israel, they went into Yugoslavia and said, Slobodan, mate, what we want to do is we want to run a pipeline from the Black Sea through the top of the Balkans, through Yugoslavia, through Europe, to power the German economy. And Slobodan went, what? Hang on, Foxtrot Oscar, I run Yugoslavia. I can ethnic cleanse as many people as I want. I'm in charge here. Go off. I've had enough. So the Americans went, all right, Slobodan, don't worry. And then a couple of weeks later, Slobodan Milosevic, he's in jail. He's been arrested. He's in jail. And then a few months later, bugger me, dies of a heart attack. Oh, convenient. Oh, Albert Medcalf, you're just the devil in disguise, Albert. Adrian, do you want me to make you a pork dip? Savoy dip, Albert. Oi, I'll have a Savoy dip. Hang on. I need to explain that because it sounds rather mucky. But yeah, pork dip, Savoy dip. Is that like Fannie Mae and Tommy Mac, the American bank thing? Yeah, kind of. But the Rothschilds only have 6 more countries to dominate, and that's why China is like 20, 30 years technically ahead of us. China's going to be the last one if they can get in there and have a bit of a skirmish, stramash, as the Scots would say. Marley Grassi says, I cannot hear that name without hearing the name he was known by. Who? I'm confused about that, Malia. You're going to have to... you see, I'm still on pork dip here. I'm on a Savoy dip. I'll tell you about that later, another conversation. Malia Grassi, most powerful handgun is the Pfeiffer Zelska 600 Naito Express revolver, costing 17 grand each. I'll take 5. Mind you, I've got ninja hands. I don't need bloody guns. Paulie Galtieri, does she mean the convicted stalker? No, Amalia. So I call him Slobodan Cocky Bitch. And Amalia can't hear Slobodan Milosevic without hearing Slobodan Cocky Bitch. It's a technical term that we use in radio, and obviously young Slobodan used in Yugoslavia and, ended up stiff. Well, you would, wouldn't you? So the Simon this evening, I want to get straight into digital IDs because I am going to ask some questions. So this has to be interactive because I need to know that you've absolutely... I see you've just got the gag. For you and your families and your community's safety, because I told you nearly, 18 months ago, Tony Blair was talking about individual digital identifiers. Then he wanted to be Bezzy mates with Sakia so that he could have the contract for this country to create the digital ID. Now, if you want to know how how long this has been going on. Remember, Cockite, Rich Boy Sunak, said to the Chinese, no, you're not going to run our digital ID cards, because China wanted the contract for it. So the people that are doing this, the puppet masters in the shadows, are so close to getting this over the line. I'm going to tell you why they need it over the line, when they need it over the line, and how they're going to do it. So when are they going to implement this digital ID? You were given clues last week when some of the moronic Labour MPs were talking about, we need digital IDs. And I sat watching the telly going, and this was in PMQs last Wednesday. They were talking about it last Wednesday. This evil that's in the Ozempic Palace. They were we want digital IDs because and I thought, oh, hang on a second, have the whips told them to talk from this particular script, or are they being told what to say? And sure enough, because they want to go and eat at the top table at the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, he's going to appear later on, as is Jeffrey Epstein on this live. They're trying to get it in, digital IDs, before you start cracking monkey gags. So how are they going to implement it? They're telling you, they're putting it in plain sight. Oh, do you know these illegal migrants? Well, we're going to smash the gangs. Bend over, you bugger. Are you Ukrainian? Come on, then. Or what they're going to do. Oh, we're going to smash the boats. Oh, with the same thing that you're trying to smash the Fun Boy 3 with. Battering ram. Technical term. I just got a bit excited there. So you've got these MPs, these moronic persons in the Ozempic Palace, saying, yes, well, why don't we bring digital IDs in? That'll stop the illegal immigrants coming in the country. And I've told you the answer. Just get the army and the navy, all rum, bum and baggy, on the Kent coast, saying, right, is that another one? Open fire! And it'll soon stop them. But this is why, if you don't know anything about Agenda 2030, this is where you need to do your research. Agenda 2030. Except they want it all in by 2027. It's 18 months away. So you know they're going to push it quickly because it's Davos and the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab has been, well, he's been dropped. Foxtrot Oscar, Klaus, we saw through you. We know what you did. We know what you did. I just can't say what you did on here. But we know what you did. Andy would have been pleased. So how are they going to sneak it in? Once digital IDs are in this country for every single human being, we are, and it is a technical term that we use in radio, we are fucked. I'm about to tell you how and why and when. So you've got the timeline, 2030. They want to make sure that it's in and done by 2027. Now, what they're going to say is they can't stop the illegal migrants. Now you know why they've done what they've done. They've done absolutely naff all. Nothing. Zilch. Zix. Nix. Nada. Nout. Nothing. Since Tony Blair in 1997. Now, you know Anthony Charles Linton Blair. Just Google Charles Linton, Bow Street Magistrates. You'll find out that he was, he was doing stuff that he got arrested for and had to use his middle name so he didn't get found out. 5 to 25. Just tell me when I can move on. Because you know what do a Wellington Boot and Charles Linton both have in common? They both get sucked off in bogs. So you've got all these illegal immigrants coming in until it gets to boiling point and the people of this island go, whoa, hang a second, those moronic persons in the Ozempic Palace, what the bloody hell they're doing? Right, you need to stop all this. And they go, well, we'll smash the gangs, and didn't. We'll stop the boats, and didn't. And now Everyone's calling out, and I've been telling you for the 3 years that this channel has been on air, and I've been doing this on my phone-ins around the country since 1989. I've been telling you they're going to give you a solution to a problem you didn't realise you had. Now you realise that you've got a problem. It's called the illegal immigrants. I've also told you the stories about the heat that I was getting from my bosses in radio saying, stop mentioning that fucking illegal immigrants. And I said, all right then. I'm getting heat, man. I'm getting heat, man. Stop mentioning the illegal immigrants. All right, I'll stop mentioning the illegal immigrants. So I went on air that night and called them economic migrants. Oi, 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 oi. If you've ever seen a man angry, I can tell you, this man was even angrier than anything that you've ever seen before. My fucking office at 9 o'clock in the morning. Be there. I was like, okay, but what are you getting your knickers in a twist for? I know you wear them at the weekend. What are you getting your knickers in a twist for? I thought you told me you weren't going to mention the illegal immigrants. I said, and this was 2000. This was 25 years ago. And I said, I didn't. He said, yes, you did. I heard you. I said, no, you didn't. I didn't say illegal immigrants. I said economic migrants. And if you're not intelligent enough to know the difference, don't you bloody start with me. I've had enough of you. I told you, don't mention them. Don't mention the illegal immigrants. And don't mention the bloody economic migrants either. I know what you're doing, you bastard. I'm getting heat, man. Getting heat. That was a pretty good impersonation, actually. So what they've done is they've given you a problem. The problem is illegal immigrants. So you heard last week, just before they broke up, it was the end of the parliamentary year, so to speak, because it doesn't run. It runs sort of September to July. It doesn't run January to December. And they were talking about Harriet Harman, that moron, the moronic people, that moron of an MP that actually was an advocate for the paedophile information exchange, PI for short. Paedophile information exchange, saying that we should, and even the journalists, I think the journalists were so shocked that she stood up and advocated for the paedophile information exchange that nobody could ask her serious questions, because it was like, holy, is she really saying that? Did somebody spike my drink at lunch? And this one, Harriet Harman, is coming out, I'm a parliamentarian, and, shall we bring digital IDs in? And I'll paraphrase, but almost quote her. Harriet Harman has said, digital ID cards would help deter immigrants. No. Gunboats would deter them, and the French doing what they should be doing, but the French don't want them there because the French also want to have digital IDs, as does all of Europe, as does Australia and Canada. Can you see where I'm getting to now? Harriet Harman and other moronic people want digital IDs to stop illegal immigrants from heading to the UK. So you're giving them... So there was some Afghanistani pitched up with 22 of his family. That's not the boat people. That's somebody getting off the plane, larging it, and taking the proverbial pee. So you've got an Afghanistani turning up with 22. How many wives has he got? Now, I can't understand these people. I don't understand their culture, primarily because why would one man want more than one wife at all? Never mind 6-year-olds. I mean, the Taliban, there was some guy recently married a 6-year-old in Afghanistan, and even the Taliban turned around and went, whoa, that's too far, mate. 6-year-old, that's too far. You could have at least waited until she was 9. And in this country, we're a well-organised society. I mean, do you know the hoops you've got to jump through to try and get married, even though, like, I've lived in this country since I took my first breath? I even had somebody come up to me and say, can you get somebody to vouch for who you are? I said, mate, you can go on the internet and vouch who I am. You can find me anywhere. Do you want to know? Do you want to watch Theatre of the Mind anytime? And she said, no, I want somebody that's known you. How long? I said, well, my best mate from school is here. He'll vouch for me. Here, Kev, that's a tenner. Just tell him that you know me. And so the hoops you've got to jump through in this country so that you're not marrying somebody from outside the country to get them into this country. That game goes on all the time. And Afghanistan's pitching up with 22 family members. Oy, 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 oy. So let me just tell you, The dystopia, and I recognise that people can't handle this truth. I recognise people switching this off. But you know something? They're the people that took the jab. Not only did they take the jab, they took 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 shots, and 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 boosters. And then they turn around and say, oh, I'm not very well. Well, I'm going to give you a truth later on in this live that you need to know, because I am not fucking about tonight. You're getting it so that you understand and you know what's going on and you can help others pass this forward, pay it forward, tell other people, get them to this channel, because I'm not mucking about. So I'll tell you further. The dystopia of Agenda 2030 can only be implemented with digital IDs. Are you starting to get the game now? So you've got the moronic people in the Ozempic Palace telling you that you need to have digital ID because it'll stop the boats and it'll stop the illegal immigrants. No, they're implementing it so that you have digital ID and you know what's coming. Let me tell you. So digital ID is implemented. And it is Agenda 2030. It's the shadow puppet masters. It's their end game. Because if they don't have digital IDs, they can't do what they want to do. The Chinese, the little Chinese, the Chinese Communist Party, I'll tell you, if my brake pipes are cut or you don't hear from me again, it's the bloody Chinese. And I've already told you, from speaking to people in Davos, they were complaining that the World Economic Forum was overrun by the Chinese. This is the locals, and the locals have had 50-odd years of the World Economic Forum in Davos. But the last time I was there, which was only a couple of years ago, they just were complaining there was too many Chinese. Chinese are taking over the world. They've got 60% of America's debt. The Chinese Communist Party are laughing at you, obviously in Chinese. But they can only bring in their end game if they have digital IDs implemented into this country. Now, I'm going to tell you in a moment about the enslavement of all. Now, if this is too much for you, please just switch the channel off. I'm not sugarcoating this at all, because we are as close as we are ever going to get. We don't need nuclear war. We don't need drones. They're going to bring in a combatless solution to war. It's called the digital ID. And what do I mean by that? So it's the end game. It's the enslavement of all. This is not one country or two countries. Forget what's going on in America, because I'll also give you an update on that. Look, Trump isn't the savior of America, although a lot of people, including me, I was fooled, thought he was. He's just a different act to implement the same things, because digital ID, and America's going to be the crypto capital of the world. So the Americans are like, yay, John Wayne, yay. He's just making America great again, but everybody else can go and Foxtrot, Oscar and suffer. So it's the enslavement of all. 8 billion of us on this planet. And it's a really clever game. Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank. She's now saying, in interviews over the last few days, it will be illegal to pay more than 1,000 euros of your own money for something in cash. So you think that you're going to bugger about and buy shit and you're going to go into the grey economy or the black economy, or you're going to be able to do whatever you want because you think that you can? No. Touch your toes. They're about to stick a rocket up your arse. And you haven't seen it coming, because if you did, you would have stopped it. So digital euros are going to come with controls. And this is from Christine Lagarde, interviewed over the last couple of days, president of the European Central Bank, owned by, correct, the Rothschilds. So digital euros will come with controls, even under 300 euro spending. So the puppet masters, the minute you start buying something for £1,000 in cash, alarm bells are going to go off. They're going to say, what's that? And what you're buying it for? No, you can't have it. So they're going to stop you. And if you say, I'm going to buy something for under 300 euros, If the powers that be don't like it, you will not be allowed to buy it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you get the context of this information? So they're not going to allow you to buy anything over £1,000. That includes cars, houses, anything you like. Watches, if you've got that much affluence. They're not going to allow you to buy anything. Don't be so fucking stupid. If you are not at the top of the food chain, they will say to you, you can't buy it. But it's my money. Don't care. You can't buy it. I'm only spending less than €300. Don't care. You can't buy it. It's not in line with the Chinese Communist Party's policies, or Davos and the World Economic Forum policies, which is just communism under a different name. And do you know something? People were saying, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not now. You've only got 18 months. And this is legit. This is not about, is there a way through this? Is there a way against this? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because you're saying, right, Adrian, okay, Clever Clubs, you're telling us all of this, and it's a dystopian future. It's like the film V. What is the answer? I'm going to make a video about it tomorrow. Because there are movements, there are people, collectives, against this. Against it all. And if I was to give you the whole answer, I want to do it in a separate video, because it's really important. It's important for you. It's important for your family. It's important for your kids and your grandkids and your community. It's important for everyone, because these at the top, you think Starmer has been put in there because he's a nice guy. Don't be so fucking thick. They've got something on him, these puppet masters, and this is how One Nation under blackmail, this is how it works. You do as you're told, sunshine. Otherwise, we're going to release this in the press, because we own the press. So are you going to do as you're told, Kia? Yeah. Right, we'll just have a little test. See how you go with Fun Boy 3 and the Four Tops. See how you go with those. All right then. Right, yeah, what do you want me to say? No, do you want me to say it? Oh, I want you to do it like this, and I want you to say it like this. Yeah, but they'll all start taking to the streets, man. They'll start rioting. I know what the British are like. I know what the Scots and the Welsh and the English are like, and the Irish. Everybody loves a fight. We'll get to the Northern Irish and the Southern Irish in just a moment. But look, they've just said to him, oh, just label them as far-right thugs. And then everybody that knows was looking at these far-right thugs going, they're not far-right thugs. They're fucking Red Wall. It's the northeastern Liverpool and Southport. Southport's just a posh part of Liverpool. Ish. But he was told, oh, go and lay a wreath. Look, the script, the playbook, and the speeches are all done for him. He's literally just a figurehead that talks shite. Rich Boy Sunak, a figurehead that talks shite. He's going to be mentioned in dispatches in just a little while. You know, they used the courts to stop these leaks about the Afghanistanis coming out. You know that when he was told that it was going to be able to be released and they couldn't use injunctions any further, he went to the country and called a general election. Literally, he was told, no more injunction, it's going to be released, and he went to the country the following day. Because the Tories were scared shitless. This is the parasitical classes. It's the political classes, the moronic people that are MPs, moronic people, you know what I've done there. They're just grifting, trying to make as much money as they can as quickly as they can. And Sunak was one of them making the most through his missus and the North East licenses to drill for oil and gas. Oh, you missed that. Everybody did. The newspapers didn't report it. Lying tarts. So I'm going to give you the answer tomorrow. But it is a together. If you're hashtag together, if you look at some of their cases, they are trying to stop digital IDs. This is going to be a big, 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 big thing, so to speak, as the bishop said to the actress. because they're not working. None of the moronic people are working over the summer. They don't until they get back in September. They have a little bit of July, August. They have about 6 or 7 weeks off, these slacking tarts. So let me tell you about why Poland. So tomorrow, tonight's Monday. If I don't get the video made in the morning, because there's a lot happening in my private life away from YouTube, it may be that I'm seeing a friend for coffee in the morning so we can chew the fat. And in the evening, I'm doing another live from 7:30. At the latest, the answer of what you can do and how you can do it and how you can attempt to stop these digital IDs being brought in by the moronic people. I will tell you tomorrow night. I'll give you the answer. I'll show you how. And then once I've done the live, I'll put all the links in the live so you can join with a purpose. Save your kids, save your grandkids, save your family, save your community. Once digital IDs are in, even though they say it's for the illegal immigrants, you are done. But remember, Klaus, you will own nothing but be happy. And we will tell you where you're going and what to do. And look, if you haven't done, so I do a live and I criticize the Chinese Communist Party because that's actually who's running the world. They'll go, so you wanted to go on holiday in August, did you, Mr. Allen? Yes. Can you remember criticising the Chinese Communist Party? Oh, yeah, can do. Yeah. Right. You're not going. You can't board the plane. Your passport is barred. Well, it's not my passport, it's my digital ID. Same thing, you can't go abroad. So if they think that you're holidaying too much, they'll stop you from travelling. They'll stop you. Look, they can do it in if you go into some of the cities in this country. If your digital ID don't work, how can you get through the barriers in train stations and undergrounds? You can't. And if you want to go and buy stuff, you can't. If you want to go and buy stuff for more than £1,000, you can't. Now, I know that sounds a lot, and maybe you don't use that kind of sums of money. But they're just going to get you to do as you are told. No argument. You got a digital ID. You're not kowtowing to the puppet masters in the shadows. No. And these morons, they'll be holidaying in Eilat and some very nice places around the world that you can't travel to because they've banned your digital ID. And you don't think it's coming? You thought it was a conspiracy theory. I'm telling you now, it is fact. They're going to have it in by 2027. 18 months. They'll come back in September and they'll say, well, we promised to stop the boats, smash the gangs, stop the boats, stop the illegal immigrants. Here's the answer, digital ID. And if the country doesn't turn around and go, I've got my passport, I've got my NI number, I've got my NHS number, what do I want a fucking digital ID for? And there's West Street the other day. They'll say, you can't be treated on the NHS. Why? You haven't got digital ID. What do you mean? The NHS, I've put into the NHS for decades and decades and decades. We don't give a flying. Mate, you're not getting in. Your name's not on the door. You're not getting in. So you can't be treated. You're going to die. Well, how sad. Never mind. You should have kowtowed to the Chinese Communist Party. And then if you want to go travel for a nice family holiday. How many holidays you had this year? Well, just the one. Too many. You're not going. You won't be able to book anything when you use your passport to kind of check in and stuff. Name's not on the door. You're not going. It's all coming to you unless you rise up and do something about it. And I'm not going about. Mike J says, mind you, at least it will give reward points on the ID card if you go to the gym and do your steps every day. Ian McGee says, what happens if everyone doesn't consent to digital ID, I wonder? It's called civil, and the second word is war. Alan, they know that Starmer and LIBOR are toast before 2030, so they are speeding things up. Of course, Alan, they want to get them in. They want to get it in. Bad Wolf Project says, just to back up what the Rev is saying, myself and Mrs. Wolf bought a still garden strimmer on Saturday, €320 at your DIY chain shop. Bloody hell. Will not take cash payment for anything over 300, card only. So they can trace it. So if you're not doing as you are told, and to a certain extent get your bonus points, they're not going to let you. Imagine you go and buy a strimmer, as Bad Wolf Project has. and you find out that you can't buy it because it's over 300 euros. Or over £1,000, for that matter. You want to go and buy a decent car? As Neil said earlier, he wanted to go and buy a car for £8,000. Keir Starmer ended up buying one for 2 million, and it was a Hyundai. Chap crap. Sorry, Rev, bit late, so on catch up, Andy B. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, Andy. Des Ashton says, sadly, not all will refuse to consent. I know, the morons, like the people that took the jibber jabber. Now, again, I am not judging anyone, but this is more important than the jab. The jab, everybody was trying to do their best. Now they're using the illegal immigrants. Now you know why they've allowed them all in. Now you know why they've allowed them in for over nearly 30 years, 28 years. Because it gets to a point where you have to accept what they're saying. And you're desperate to stop these illegal immigrants. They're using the illegal immigrants to get you to consent to digital IDs. Fuck me. Stephen Hall, my feed was cut for a while, was it? Can anybody else confirm this? Gene Psychic, all animals were equal. Some animals were more equal than others. Animal Farm, George Orwell, great book, fabulous book. Stuart says, I started using again because my local Costa and supermarkets card machines weren't working, so carry cash round with me again. It's that, but this is what's going to happen with digital ID. You'll think, oh, I'll just nip down to Tesco's or Asda or Sainsbury's or Waitrose. I'll just nip down and get some food. And if you're not playing ball with a system that's telling you you've got a digital ID, they can go, your card won't work. Well, what do you mean? Can I not just take these home and I'll bring some cash? No, your card doesn't work. You'll be at the checkout. Your card won't work. 1984, we're 40 years beyond that now. Daft Lad says fear. Correct. It's fear porn. Vixtech says they used your job over the jab. I know. And some people were being told you're going to get fired unless you take the jab. People will barter stuff. I know, Jackie, but the best thing to do is actually stop the digital ID, in my view. Now, you can do your own research. You can go away. I'm not suggesting that you do anything that it's against the law in this country, but it's not law yet. That's where you've got to stop it. And if the whole country is against it and then they bring it in, well, hell mend them, as the Scots would say. The moronic people in the Ozempic Palace are going to get it. Not that I want them to, but this is really, really important. And all they're going to do is a bit like Edward Heath and the Rent Boys that went swimming in the British Channel, English Channel. Weren't seen again. Morning cloud. Oh, you didn't hear those stories, did you? Well, you weren't awake. I was. Stuart says, my best mate's sister lost her job as a nurse because she refused to take the jab. She was heartbroken because she loved the job but didn't play the government's game. I do hope that those people that refused the jab got their jobs back, because technically that was illegal. European Convention for Human Rights and the European Working Time Directive that's been statute law in this country since 1998. Gene Psychic says, you're more than right with good foresight. Paulie Galtieri says, remember you needed a QR code to enter a pub when the jibber jabber was in vogue? Yeah, they're going to do exactly the same. Oh, I'm just going to nip to the pub for a couple of large ones with the lads. I'll be out for an hour and a half. 5 minutes later, thought you were going to the pub. I did. What happened? I couldn't buy anything. My digital ID don't work. You've had too much alcohol this week, so you have to wait 7 days before you can buy more alcohol. Des Ashton makes a very good point. There should only be one law. Do not cause harm to others and yourself. I agree completely. So, the Ministry of Truth, 1984, George Orwell. Of course, Tom. Thank you, Bovril. 2 quid, the sound of truth as it really is. This is the pulpit of truth. We've been going nearly 3 years. And you're sitting in the pews of justice. You know what is right. You know what is wrong. You don't need politicians to tell you. And do you know something? Just as a quick little aside before I ask you question number 1 this evening. You've got, and as Gene Psychic says, the carbon footprint. It's all integrated to stop you from moving around, going anywhere, doing anything, because they decree what you can and can't do. Can you imagine living in that Prison? Bad Wolf Project. Myself and Mrs. Wolf has dodgy QR codes I generated on an app that I made. You typed in the name of the venue, time and date, hit save, and it generated a valid QR code that looked real but wasn't. There is always going to be people that are able. I mean, we've seen the Hollywood films, Mad Max and all those kind of stuff, where they come up with things that enable you, V for Vendetta, that come up with stuff that means that you can get into venues and do stuff. But should we realistically be living in a dystopian society like that, where we're actually not free? We can't think free, we can't act free, we can't help others freely. And do you know what else is coming? So digital ID, and rather than go later in my notes, Islamophobia is going to be used to close you and your free speech down. Don't wait, it's coming. It is coming. But the Labour Party know that if they bring this in and do it quickly, then the people will rise up in this country. Can you not feel it? There's tension in the air. There's people fighting each other. It doesn't matter what the skin tone, brown, black, white, pink, sky blue, pink with yellow dots on. You go out anywhere and you get into a bit of a set to, and people are bashing hell out of each other. They're running each other over with cars. Can you not feel this in the air? And that's what these MPs, the moronic people, want to do. They want to set everybody against each other. So by coming to this channel and being part of this community where we do things with a smile on our face sometimes, and we don't allow people to do things that we don't want them to do, like Klaus Schwab, you own nothing and be happy. Mate, off. And when you get to the other side, wherever the other side may be, it's going to be hell for you, because God is mightier than you. You deviant fucker. Stephen Hall says, I used to be stupid enough to think Labour represented the working class when I was young. Me too, Stephen. Me too. But they're not. They're abjectly evil. They're only after the power. They don't care. Ginger Growler, bloody hell, she wants Keir's job. Keir doesn't want her to get his job. And Rachel Reeves, well, she just cries because she knows that the economy's fucked. Technical term, obviously. Stuart says, don't know about you, but I've seen people these last few days wearing masks in supermarkets and even out on the street. That's because the fear has been injected so deep that people are just scared. They are responding from fear. They're scared. And it's for us, the enlightened, if you wish, or the awake, however you want to term this. We're not woke. We're just awake. And we're awake to the shenanigans that these moronic people are doing to us. We've got to take care of others. We can't get them to see our way, or we can't get them to see through the shite that is going on, because it's really easy to spot. They're too scared. They're almost paralyzed by fear. And that's why Brexit and Klaus Schwab, I'm going to talk about him in a second. That's why they're saying, no, Brexit wasn't going to work. Oh, yes, it fucking was. So you've got the fear porn coming out of Europe, out of Davos, out of the World Economic Forum. You've got Christine Lagarde. You've got the von der Leyen, Ursula von der Leyen bitch. You've got her, who's gone quiet. And there's Sniffy starting war with Russia. He's disappeared. I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. Daft lad. God's supposed to keep the king in check. Charles the Weak. Charles the fucking Weak. His gardeners have had enough. Oi, Charlie, mate. Off. Not obviously not the bag of stuff that was on the train with Sir Keir Starmer, but Charles, mate. Charles the Weak. Can we not have your son in quick? Because I will tell you this for shit sure. If King Billy doesn't sort all this out, the monarchy's finished. It's over. William could be our last king, because the people have had enough of not being protected. The king, Charles the Weak, isn't protecting the people of these lands. There was this massive rumour going around that he was Muslim. What the actual fuck? He's the head of the Church of England. How can he be a fucking Muslim? And then we have access to social media. They're going to shut that down. And don't worry about just as a little aside, you know that Sir Keir Starmer went, oh, here, Apple, right, you need to understand that I'm the King of England. No, well, obviously, Charles the Weak is the King of England, titular head, but I'm the Prime Minister, so I'm in charge. So you need to give us access to your data, Apple data, from the phones, from your laptops, everything. We need backdoor access, not a first for Sir Keir Starmer, let me tell you. And Apple's gone, sorry? You are telling us that we have to do what? Yeah, well, we're the Labour Party, we're the Labour government, we're in charge, so we can do whatever we want in this country because we've got a majority, so we can do whatever we want. So listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I'm Sir Keir Starmer, and you are going to give us access, backdoor access, because I love backdoor access. You're going to give us backdoor access to your data, Apple laptops, Apple phones. And Apple's gone, leave it with us, lads. Leave it with us, Sir Keir. Obviously, you're a little agitated. Are you been on the Coca-Cola again? It's come out today. America's gone, 2-tier, free gear, Sir Keir Starmer. Yeah, backdoor boy. Because that's what you were doing with Apple. Right. So this is how we're going to play this game. You either adhere to what we want, and we're protecting Apple. Otherwise, we're going to put massive tariffs on all your produce and products. So it's your decision. You decide whether to shaft Apple, and if you shaft Apple, we're shafting you. So who's got the bigger cock, us or you? It'll be us. Is that all right, Keir, mate? Remember free speech at the White House? Yeah, all that malarkey. So you decide. We've got trident-sized cocks that we will shag you with if you don't do as you are told. And Sir Keir Starmer's gone, all right, yeah, all right. Anybody got any free Charlie? All right, you win. I was just trying to look after me mates. This government couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. Phil Levan, Adrian, get David Icke on. I could do, Phil. I interviewed him on the BBC 20 odd years ago. I think that's why I was fired by the BBC. I was doing stuff that the BBC didn't want me to do. My Mac has never been updated. I wouldn't trust Apple either, to be honest, says Alan. I'm with you. I mean, I've had an Apple Macintosh computer since 1991. Before Steve Jobs got sacked and came back. But we're in charge in our country from the Labour Party. You know, Mandy Mandelson. Nobody's talking about Mandy Mandelson being on the Epstein list, are they? I've seen the notebook, or I've seen a facsimile of the phone book. I know, Les, it's fantastic. Because I'm talking intelligent stuff tonight, and they've not got 2 IQ points to rub together. That's why they've not infiltrated, because I may as well be talking Swahili to the thick. So you've got a government that's saying, we're in charge, this is what we're doing. And then you've got the Americans going, right, lads, no problem, we're just going to tariff the fuck out of your country. And Sir Keir's gone, what do you mean? And America's just gone, well, we've told you. Do as you're told. Touch your toes. It won't hurt for the first 3 inches, but touch your toes, and then we'll lube it up for you. Ray Norton says the list will drop in August. Some of it, which we've already known, and some of the phone numbers. So Mandy Mandelson, phone numbers, multiple phone numbers in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. So how are you, Mandy man? We know you love America, but we've seen the photographs of little Jeffrey Epstein buying you a lovely little belt for your shorts. So, cough, you're wrongin'. We've seen through you. We know what you're into. We know what you like. And Jeffrey Epstein supplied it. Didn't he? Why would he have your telephone numbers? Gene Psychic loves this. Elaine Smith, I'm so proud of you educating people as I'm 78 with multiple health issues. I won't be around to see digital ID, so please keep up your good work. Elaine, in your name, I will do it on your behalf. I'm not fucking about. My language might be a bit choice at times, but I am passionate that people understand and get context, so that it's not me rising up against the government, because they'll have me shot or my brake pipes cut, one of the two. But if there's enough of us, they won't be able to do what they're going to do. But a bit like they give you a worst case scenario, so you rise up like Wat Tyler and the Peasant Revolt in the 1300s. Rise up, and then they go, right, lads, no need for this. We'll just put the Magna Carta together. Well, we'll just get an agreement between all the lairds and the lords, and Wat Tyler and all of these peasants. Well, then they'll be looked after. That's coming. Magna Carta. Nobody even knows what's in the bloody Magna Carta. And that's the basis for all law in this country, as was Athelstan. King Athelstan, actually, was the first great king, including Alfred the Great. First great king of the All England. Stephen Hall. Heard Stephen Hawking went to Epstein Island. He didn't swim, Stephen. He was taken there. Can you imagine? Oh, hello. My name's Stephen. Or tapping it out on his little keyboard. You know, he'd have been there 3 days just to say hello. Jackie Glasgow says, I told my neighbour I have a feeling I might spend my days in the clink. I will not comply. Way to do it, Jackie. One of us is so powerful, more powerful than you realise. Yes, but there has to be knowledge and understanding. That's why the mainstream media are absolutely, categorically not talking about this at all, in any way, shape or form. They're telling you, Gaza's in bloody hospital. All right. Who's the first one that's going to turn up at A&E, where Gaza, whichever hospital Gaza's in, with a fishing rod, 2 loaves of bread and a 6-pack? Who's going to do that joke? What do you mean? You didn't think about it? Yeah, utter wrong. And of course you did. I would have done if I knew which hospital he was in. Hello, Gaza mate. It's me, David Beckham. Can you see I've got no bloody hair? I've shaved my head off. Jesus Christ, man. But Vicky is a lady, so I'm told. All fur coat, no knickers, from what I've heard. Paulie Galtieri, how could the wheelchair guy consent to it? It was either that or get chucked in the sea. So I would say yes if I was about to be chucked in the pool. Phil Levan, we was just born into this at the end of the day. Of course. But look, we are being controlled by, and if I told you 20, 30 years ago, because I was told in the 80s that we were being managed, we were being controlled by satanic paedophiles. And people went, what? What? And now people have done their research about adrenochrome. And now they're realizing that we are controlled. It's one nation under blackmail. Jeffrey Epstein, Diddy, and others. What, you don't think that Epstein was unalived and there wouldn't have been anybody else to take his place? Of course there is. That's why Trump hasn't released any of these documents and the documentation regarding Epstein. Not because he's in it, because he knows who's in it and what you missed, and nobody is talking about this. Benjamin Netanyahu, they were about to drop the Epstein list, and Netanyahu went and had a meeting at the White House with Donald Trump. Didn't you work out what the question was? Oi, Bibi, mate, what you doing here? Ah, right. So, how are you blackmailing the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the West? What you got? Gives a look. And now, Trump, Barack Obama could end up in jail for treason. All of his administration could end up in jail for treason. The shit's about to hit the fan big time. So the deal's been done between Bibi Netanyahu and Donald Trump. Art of the deal. Alan, David Icke, my hero. I'll have a word with David. I've got his home telephone number. Hello, David. Bloody hell, who's this? My name's Adrian. Not remember me, David. No. I've never heard of you. So all I ask is this. Spread the word. Spread the word about the channel. But I will tell you this. There is a reason I do what I do the way that I do it. Because I'm keeping myself alive. And I have done on phone-ins for the best part of 36 years. 1989 I started my first phone-in. And I was being given information about... So when I set up the memberships in August, the first thing I'm going to tell you is the parliamentarian, the politician, and there was 2 of them, politicians who had kids around them, who I was told to shut up, keep your head down, go home. I will give you the names once I get into the membership area. I see you. So if they shut down social media, will we have to go back to CB radio? Oh, wasn't that a fabulous time? So, hang on. Evil comes quietly, smiling, as you let it take away all of your freedom. The peddled illusion of choice is just a sham. Beautifully put, Des. Beautifully put. I'll say that again. Evil comes quietly, smiling, as you let it take away all of your freedom. The peddled illusion of choice is just a sham. That'll be the Democrats or the Republicans. That'll be the Labour Party or the Tories. Notice how quietly in this country it became the uniparty. We thought we had choice. We thought we could vote in whomever we want. No. We voted in whoever they chose. And everybody... Garen Davis, 10 out of 200 Battenberg. Hang on. Amalia Grassi. Nope. Washing in. Or was it raining? David Graham says, I'm reading the David Icke book, The Biggest Secret, which came out in 1998. And some of that is just coming true now, 30 years later. Les Griffith says, CB, the way things are going, it will be carrier pigeons, smoke signals, and semaphore. Hang on, what's Talbot Tracy said now? Breaker 1-4 for a copy. 9 was it 10-10 till we do it again? Alan Blindfold, CB radio. I'll have to get me rubber ducky out again. You'll get arrested for that, Alan. Good to see you in the body of the Kirk this evening, Alan. I know you weren't there last night. Ray Norton went to see karaoke live. She never turned up, so they put lyrics on a big screen and we all sang. Yeah. So, Talbot Tracy, you're far too obvious. So, right, should we have a couple of questions? We'll have a question now, and then I'll go to a different subject. But I had to impress on you because this is coming, and we need to resist it. And I'm going to tell you how, either on the live or on a separate video. If I can't do it in a separate video for very obvious reasons, because it might be too contentious, and then, oh no, we can't have advertising on videos like that, I'll just do it in the live tomorrow night. And that's why I do this, because I ask for nothing. All I ask is that we get through to 200 likes on the live. It's 250 odd people watching now. Another 50 and we can get through 200. So please, if you're enjoying what I'm telling you tonight, because I am going to keep going for quite a while now, please just smash the likes on your way in and wipe your feet, because this is a respectful body of the Kirk, the pulpit of truth and the pews of justice. Paul Mabley, you tart, wasn't him. David Graham, old American saying, doesn't matter who comes in power, the same invisible government stays in power. No wonder nothing changes. I think that it's the old saying, whoever you vote for, the government gets in. Linda Lewis saw David Icke and Alex Jones at the Bilderberg protest in Watford in 2013. Oh, wunderbar, Linda. Alex, when I was in South Wales, either Alex or his people, this was kind of, I started adrianallen.com in early 2001. I had a wonderful guy called Dean, who was my webmaster, and is years ahead of his time. He's very, very, very perceptive and sees through things. Tarblock Tracy, could you not live stream this on X at the same time as YouTube? Not that I'm a Luddite, but I would love to. But I think on X, it's kind of in portrait rather than landscape. And this is in landscape always, so that the people with proper tellies can watch it on the telly whilst having a small libation and being entertained by me, you and everybody else. Yeah, Daft Lad says, bang the bell. Might get arrested for it, but bang the bell. Give a thumbs up. Smash the likes. Let's get it through 200. Stephen Hall says, my late father was a Labour supporter until Blair came along in 1997. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this for fact. Tony Blair had paedophiles around him, and I know who the paedophile was, because I put him in jail for 35 years. Not going to go any further than that, but I know the intelligence agencies would have done full checkups. He was a member of the Sunderland Labour Party, as was my father. And Sunderland Labour Party have a lot to answer for. In my view, this is my lived experience. So I saw this bit of reportage talking about Sedgefield and Tony Blair when he was became MP and got into power, and the paedophile was right there in amongst it. And I thought, fuck me. So Blair has paedophiles around him and doesn't care. I wonder why. Let me tell you, if I can get round it, I will tell you what I know about why Thomas Hamilton has a D notice on anything to do with him. You know, the gunman from Dunblane? Why would he get a D notice? Why would the information about Thomas Hamilton be locked away for hundreds of years? I know why, but I can't tell you here. I'm not even sure I can tell you on a membership area on here. Because what I'm telling you tonight is really dangerous stuff. That's why it's never been broadcast before. That's why people can't tell you. And people go, oh, yeah, I knew that. No, you didn't. Or either that, or you didn't have the kahunas to actually tell the truth to people so that they could make their own minds up. And the people that come here are critical thinkers. Hang on. Bad Wolf Project says, new PCs often come with bloatware, unwanted pre-installed apps that slow performance. Best fix? Uninstall or do a clean Windows install. This is why computers have a built recovery software. I agree. My PC, brand new, it keeps updating itself. We've tried to stop it, tried every which way to stop it, but it updates itself. It's manufactured obsolescence. And that's why they do it. Because somebody somewhere has got a data farm and they're farming your data from your computer and your phones. Which is why the Labour Party wanted to control Apple. And Apple have just gone, oh, here, Kia, mate, you think you've got power? Hang on a second. We'll just have a word with the President of America. Oi, Donald, mate, have a word with that idiot over there, the free speech king. Have a word with him in Britain. He says he wants the back door for all Apple data. Really? Hello, Kia. Yeah, utter wrongin'. You can go and Foxtrot Oscar. I watch Adrian Allen in the Theatre of the Mind. We know exactly what you're up to, and it's shite, mate. So off you go. Go and have some fun with your Fun Boy 3 and the Four Tops and Merck and Macron on your trains, because I know you love a little corgi train set, and obviously the marching powder, they get you into Poland. Don't be going marching on the Polish. They've got too much oil and gas now. Leo Bovril, did Mandelson and Blair ever get it on? Not that I'm aware of. Although, no. Terry, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. You can say that, but I can't possibly comment because I'll end up dead. The D notice was lifted in 1992. Terry, no. Thomas Hamilton. You need to give me more details, because I'm telling you, that was covered up for hundreds of years. Absolutely, categorically, people can't know what Thomas Hamilton was doing and did and for what reason. And who was involved. And I know the names of the people that were involved. Honestly, I've not had time to have any of my hibiscus tonight. So please excuse me. I'm just going to... I absolutely cannot pronounce that. You're going to have to tell me. Caoimhe. That's a hell of a name. Apple have already given in. No, they haven't. Terry Wookfit, Adrian, yes, brilliant. Can we put a petition into Parliament for the right to bear arms? Can you imagine? I mean, I think we should have the right to bear arse, because we could all sit on Parliament Green and just bare our backsides, and all the moronic people in Ozempic Palace, including Fat Lammy's gastric band. It's become such a dull panto. Every supposed leader plays the part of the dame. Oh, hello, Des. Bunny Woman Tavistock. To turn off and stop Windows updates, search command CMD or terminal and paste this into the space.net. Stop. This forces the computer to stop updates. I just, because my computer's slowing down, I know it's manufactured obsolescence. That's what they do, but they also monitor everything you do. What, you think your search engine is kind of just not telling them what you're searching for? That's why when I say stuff to you, I say it's not suitable for work. And if you are going to Google Charles Linton and Bow Street magistrates, you can get away with that because Google allows it. But I'm the bear, says Alan. 250 and 187 likes. Come on, says Napoleon Bonaparte. Smash the likes. Right, let's get into some more tasty stuff because I know that's why you're here. And I know that you don't get it anywhere else. So let me tell you about Poland, the land of milk and honey. Note this because nobody else is paying attention. It's the biggest oil discovery in Poland's history in the Baltic Sea. Let me give you more detail. The biggest oil and gas fields estimated 22 million tons of oil. I'll say that to you again. 22 million tons of oil. 5 billion cubic meters of gas. So Poland are like they've just won the jackpot. They've just won the lottery. They're saying to Ursula von der Leyen, bitch, and anybody else that cares to listen to them, oi, Foxtrot Oscar, we've got more money than we know what to do with. We'll pave all of Poland with gold. We don't care. And you're saying to us we can't be in the EU. Fuck off. We've got 22 million tons of oil and we've got 5 billion cubic meters of gas. You think we give a flying fuck? And then Europe will go, but you know, Poland, you're in the EU. You can't do anything else. Yes, we can. And it's these MPs, these Euro moronic people who go, well, international law says, go off. We're pointing guns at you and tanks at you and missiles at you. What international law do you want to understand? We'll bomb the fuck out of you, Brussels first, and then the rest of you. Well, we'll do France in a lunchtime because they're not very good fighters. They're all shagging blokes, seemingly, and in bad wigs, seemingly. So Poland will just go, here, Donald, do you want to make a deal? Just give us one of those Iron Dome thingies, just in case Europe gets a bit lippy, and we'll start bombing the shit out of Europe. Oh, Hitler did it. Why can't we? We've got enough money. We can procure arms and armaments till we're all falling down, pissing ourselves laughing. So what's Ursula von der Leyen bitch going to do? You can't do that. It's against international law. We don't give a flying. We don't. It's like if they tell us what to do. Oh, we Brexited this. The people of this land, this sceptred isle, these countries, the United Kingdom, told you to Foxtrot Oscar. Now, this deviant fucker that's signing away our rights, do you know what he can go and do? International law, my hairy backside. I've told you before, Poland doesn't need the EU. The EU is desperate to bully Poland, though. And Poland's just going to laugh at them. If they can stop the illegal immigrants and they're going to have Poland white, that's what it boils down to. No ethnic cleansing, no illegal immigrants, no nothing. Poland is going to stay Polish. They've got strength in oil and gas. There's debt in wind and solar. I mean, look at this moron, this Ed Millipede. I mean, he's keeping out of the public eye because you know what all is also coming? All this shit about putting solar panels out in the countryside. And, well, the farmers don't know what they're doing. So we're going to land grab everything, put the farmers out of business, and we're going to sell it off to BlackRock. What they don't realise is within 18 months, AI will have come up with solutions to seemingly net zero. And to round this off for Poland, because I'm going to get on to the Republic of Ireland in a second, because you've no idea what they're doing. So there's no illegal immigration in Poland. And they've just hit pay dirt, jackpot, a shit ton of money. I mean, it's not even, you can't calculate it on your little calculator on your iPhone. They're making so much money, 5 billion cubic meters of gas. And can you imagine, we're still, we could say to Poland, like, lads, let's build a pipeline from Poland to the UK, straight across the channel, and we'll still have cheaper gas than we do now because we're being shafted. Don't you get it? They're all making... Do you know why they're called Great Britain Treasure Island? Because we can't get anything from anywhere beyond what we're being offered. So the utilities companies, do not get me started on the water companies. It's corrupt. So Ofwat's gone, and they're going to put another organisation to oversee the water companies, the water utilities, and we're going to put smart meters in. You're not putting smart meters in my house. I know what the game is. You're not controlling me. But I tell you what, we'll have a square go in the front garden. If your man is better than me, then I'll have to have a smart meter. But if I'm better than your man, you can pay me £1 million a week for the next 20 million years. I'm being facetious, of course. But they just think that they can do whatever they want. Look at Thames Water. Thames Water is so corrupt as an organisation. And I'm telling you, corrupt. They just give up so much money to their shareholders and they don't look after the infrastructure. They don't care. It's corrupt. They just want the money, man. And the government don't do anything about it. Get that Pratt Milliband, get that Pratt Millipede out and sorting out, well, it's net zero. So sort the water companies out then, or let's have desalination plants all the way around the country. Israel is the #1 country in the world because they've got no bloody water. It's a desert. So they need desalination, and Israel was one of the greatest countries on planet Earth to desalinate the salt water in the East Mediterranean. So let's have that idiotic moron of a man decide to have desalination plants all the way around the UK, and then we'll have fresh water so he can fuck off. Absolutely Foxtrot Oscar. Makes me mad? Damn right. He's a moron of epic proportions, and this government is corrupt to epic proportions, and nobody is seeing through them. Jesus H. You know, my Tourette's are kicking in. I just need 2 seconds to calm down. Okay, now. Let me tell you what's happening in the Republic of Ireland. So now the Gardaí, they're being given new powers so that they can monitor your WhatsApp. I mean, this is in the Republic of Ireland. Of course, it's not over here. But look, if it's happening there, that's Europe. So you know what's coming, don't you? Ursula von der Leyen, bitch. Oh, right, we need access to your WhatsApp. No, you don't. You don't want to hear me talking about me gardening or me plot of land that I'm growing vegetables on. I'm deathly dull. That's why they can't get to me. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything illegal. I'm just really, really boring but passionate. And I've got an intellect that sees through their shite. So Ursula von der Leyen, bitch, you can Foxtrot Oscar, mate. So they're going to do it in the Republic of Ireland, and then it's coming to the rest of Europe. They'll just sneak it in. The Gardaí, that's the police. They're going to get powers to monitor WhatsApp. The Justice Minister in the Republic of Ireland is preparing the law that they're going to implement. And seemingly, you know how I told you earlier about digital ID and how they would bring it in? Seemingly, it's to intercept criminals' messages. I mean, are these people thick? Not the criminals, because the criminals are sharp. Well, they're not as big as the criminals in Parliament or in politics, because they're even more crooked than anybody else. Politicians can't lie straight in bed that they're corrupt. You seemingly to intercept criminal messages. The criminals are not even on WhatsApp, you fools. But can you see how they present it to you? They say, oh, we're giving you a solution to a problem you never realised you had. Apple told the UK government to Foxtrot Oscar. I laughed, honestly, my incontinence pants. I'm going through them like multiple daily. As Apple have said, oi, Kia, you can Foxtrot Oscar. We're not giving you data by the back door, as much as you might enjoy it. Twat. Didn't see my lips move. So, okay, question one. I've been on it for quite a while tonight. So I want to ask a couple of questions. Question one, we'll do 3 questions here, and then we'll get on to some of the other stuff. The moon landing, Klaus Schwab, all the rigged research. We're going to get on to David Beckham. I'm still here. Honestly, I'm David Beckham. I'm bald now. Baldy Beckham. If you want to give me a new nickname. Not golden balls, obviously. Golden knackers, no. We'll do David Beckham. And then the whole world laughed at the Coldplay kiss cam over the weekend. How funny was that? And the memes, I hope you're on X. Go to my profile at Adrian Allen, and you will see the best memes that will make you laugh. My favourite was the Fun Boy 3 and Starmer. My other one was Big Mike and Barrick. My Big Mike, he's got some arms on him. So we'll talk about the Coldplay kiss cam. The Ukrainians I'm going to tell you, I've lost faith in Sniffy Zelensky. Let me tell you more in just a little while. But firstly, I want to tell you about, yes, questions. Question 1, you know it's 1 for yes and 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Should we allow the Afghanistanis to stay? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Should we allow the Afghanistanis to stay? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I hear you. Twos. Well, Rusty Roamings. I will mention Rusty's Roamings. He says, or they said, if they are in genuine danger. And as I have elucidated previously, some of the Afghanistanis, they were working with the Brits and the Americans, and the Brits and the Americans just going, well, so what? You stay there. But I thought you were going to look after us and protect us. How do we in shite, man? So there is that. Indeed, can see which website you visit regardless of the URL. Oh, Templar GB, very nice. The Umarian meme to Rusty's Roamings says, like the interpreters. But if they're going to come over here, don't bring 22 of your family. I mean, what kind of man wants more than one wife? You lunatic. I mean, I'm very lucky, thankfully, but mind you, as I said before, the Taliban were very upset at one guy who already had a wife and then wanted to marry a 6-year-old. Even the Taliban said that's too far, mate. Right. So should we allow the Afghanistanis to stay? It's virtually 100% apart from one. Bad Wolf Project replies to Templar. They can see that you're using a VPN, the VPN server's IP, and how much data you're sending. Interesting. And Les Griffiths says, we owe them all. David Graham, looks like it's unanimous. I think it might be. Reg D still saying no. Alan Little, 2 wives, 2 mother-in-laws. Oi, 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 oi. We all know what you're saying. Another question. This time, slightly different tack. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Now, this is a very, very, very tough question. And I'm asking because of the measles furore that's going on. Is the most difficult decision as a parent, do you vaccinate your baby? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Would you agree that the most difficult decision as a parent is, do you vaccinate your baby? 1 for yes, 2 for no. The only secret you keep is the one you tell no one. I knew this was going to be split. Oh, this is 50-50. Very interesting, though. Quite a few yeses, quite a few no's. So the question is, the most difficult decision as a parent, is it, do you vaccinate your baby? I read a heartbreaking story today in the newspapers and the mainstream media about parents that were really didn't know which way to jump, what to do. Amalia Grassi says, I wish I'd had foresight when my boy was a baby. And JFK Jr. is going to release lots of truths, lots and lots and lots of truths around vaccines and around autism and around lots of things. But I just thought, because I know there's lots of parents and grandparents in the audience, Jackie Glasgow, what vax? Well, there's the scheme of vaccinations that children have to have, and they coerce parents into making sure that their babies are being vaccinated for whatever reason. They say that they can't allow them into a school, or they can't do this or that or the other because they haven't been vaccinated. So parents are strong-armed into just saying yes. And it was similar tactics when we were in lockdown in March 2020, when they said, right, we're going to lock you down. It's the unvaccinated are the threat. Now, I felt like going back and finding all these idiots like Piers Morgan and Arnold Schwarzenegger and others who said, who were vehemently against the unvaccinated. And now they're coming out and saying, oh, well, you know, we didn't know. Well, bugger me. I did. I didn't tell anybody to get vaccinated. I said it's down to your conscience. You decide what you want to do. I'm sure you're doing for the best for your family. I mean, I had all of that from members of my family, my extended family, saying you need to be vaccinated. And I said, do a foxtrot Oscar. I worked on my gut biome. Now, look, I'm not sitting on some moral high ground at the top of the mountain. I know everybody trying to do their best. But when it comes to your children, how on earth do you square that particular circle? Wanting to do the best by your child. And the shit that's in the vaccines? And the doctors are in on this grift. Look, if I have a broken bone or if I have something seriously wrong with me, I'm going to go to the doctors. But if I can fix it any other way without going to the doctors, I ain't going. Talblock Tracy says, curious how many ladies in the clergy have a BCG jab scar. What's that? Is that polio or something? Or is that... I remember we were 11 and I remember having my sugar lump. Tonka69 says, I heard the poor kiddie that died from measles was receiving chemo. Either way, sorry, where have you gone, Tonka? Either way, true or not, it's a parent's worst fear, losing a child. And that's not the natural way. A child should not go before a parent. And I know it's terrible and awful, and there's some real horrible tragedies that affect families and people. And I wish everyone long life, good health. But how on earth as a parent do you square that particular circle when, you know, autism is rife? I mean, it used to be like 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 10s. I see you, says to Alan, I had one and had, this was the jibber jabber. I had one and had head pain for 4 months. I had a scan and was told it was stress. The doctors know what was, they know what's going on. I was at a wedding and I was talking to somebody from the medical profession. I don't want to go any further than that. But I was just talking to them and just said, so when you're cutting bodies open now, what are you finding? I'm just going to nip to the toilet. So they came back and I said, all right, question again. What do you keep finding? Because they're finding plastics and all kinds of stuff in human bodies. And they said, look, don't really want to talk about it. If it was the truth and they were armed with the truth, she would have told me. But she knew what the deal was. Highly, highly intelligent woman. David Graham says, well done to Greece for their immigrant stand. I think the whole of Europe's going to, now that Poland have got all this gas and oil, you watch it. You watch Europe go, right, Poland, we're going to go to war. Greece, you can stop that. And at which point are we going to sell off Gibraltar to Spain? I mentioned it months and months and months ago. You can remember it, but you were thinking, why has he mentioned that now? Oh, well, now you get it. BCG is for... MMR, autism, ADHD, Asperger's. I know, Ray Norton, but it is that again. As parents, you try to do the right thing by your children. You're being told by the medical profession your child needs to have this to save them, and the loss of any child is a terrible, terrible tragedy. And this little child in Liverpool that's died from measles. I had measles. I wasn't vaccinated against it. I read a paper the other day, some research paper that says that measles actually gives us some immunity to certain types of cancers. So they would want us not to get measles and have a vaccine so that we could get cancer somewhere down the line. Talblock Tracy says, take a look at Mrs. A, upper left arm. If there's a mark or scar, that was the BCG jab. 15 microneedles injected that left a raised lump that scarred. Oy, 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 oy. Yeah, I got one. I know you said Mrs. A, not Mr. A, but same time. Does Ashton, Jibber's already been sold down the river. I know. Stuart, I see you. Same happened to a friend of mine. He is told it could be stress and needs to get more sleep. Des Ashton makes a very good point. Falkland Islands next. Well, I know that, what's his face, the new Prime Minister or El Presidente of Argentina, as I keep saying, how did General Galtieri inspect his Air Force? With a glass-bottom boat. So Argentina's not going to take us on. They're not going to fight us. Las Malvinas. Look, if Prince Andrew can stop sweating, we can send in the SAS again, and just it'll be all over by lunchtime. Stuart says, I've got one as well. That's how my needle phobia started. Right, very interesting. Wow, Alan says, in the forces, they sent us all over the world. Jab, jab, jabbity jab, every other month. If you're going in the jungle, or you're going in the desert, or you're going up in the colder bits, jabby, 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 jab. And sometimes they experiment on our armed forces. What? And then they just deny it. Oh, God. No. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Anyway, I want to tell you about Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. I told you I was going to go for it tonight. And I have some other stuff that I don't have time to do tonight, so I'm going to do it more tomorrow for you. Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum. He's come out, well, not out, but he's come out, and the newspapers haven't got it yet. Let's see if they report it in the morning. But rigged research was to make it look as if Brexit was a disaster. I'm going to say this to you again. Klaus Schwab has admitted out of his gob, World Economic Forum, that they rigged research to make it look as if Brexit was a disaster. Project Fear. They wanted to make Brexit look like a failure so that they think that we Mogadons, the not bright ones, would go, oh. And I've seen shit tons of people talking about, especially the BBC. BBC! Dear God, when we voted, 17 odd million people voted to get out of Europe. The BBC was apoplectic. It was beside itself. And it spent months and months and months, and I'm not just talking 1 or 2, I'm talking 6, 12, 18 months belly aching because democracy happened to happen in this country. Oh, how could they? Well, we could because we had a fucking vote. And we voted to get out of that shit show, the corrupt shit show, because all they want us for is shit tons of billions of pounds so they can put it in their arse pocket and saunter off into the sunset. Politicians with multi-billions in their bank account. And also, Klaus Schwab, they're also continuing to rig the climate data. Now, if you talk climate, you get yourself into a whole shit show of pain. But I've told you before, net zero, Millipede has no idea that AI is going to correct it all. Now, the sea levels haven't risen. I've been around long enough to know when they started saying, oh, AIDS, everyone's going to die from AIDS. Oh, global warming, the seas are going to rise. We're going to lose London. We're going to lose Sunderland. The Mackham, come on, mighty black cats. We're going to lose parts of Scotland and Wales. With this sceptred isle, the seas are going to rise. And have they bollocks? It's a technical term, of course. But climate data, AI is going to solve it all. And they're beside themselves because they can't lie to us any longer because we've all got AI. And you know what the kids are going to do? The kids, bloody hell, in one generation, they're going to be so expert at AI, they're going to have digital IDs to stop the kids taking over the world. So, as Klaus once said, we own the science. That's not to say that the science is right. And they own the mainstream media. Not to say that they're not corrupt. But they don't actually own the truth. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Rev. Brilliant live. We need to look at this because this is really important. Klaus Schwab has bumped his gums and he started talking about stuff that, well, they were in one direction at one point and they're in another direction in another point. So I've told you to keep an eye on a couple of countries because whatever happens in those countries is going to happen here. Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Now, Australia have come out, not out, obviously, because Australians are not like that. They've got an iron grip on their country. Moreover, they've got an iron grip on their reserve bank. So Australia's reserve bank quietly is building a world in which money could expire. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. This will not be in the mainstream media tomorrow. It won't, in any way, shape or form, because this is too dangerous. If they start telling you that, look, in Australia, they're going to build a world, that's the reserve bank, and they're doing it quietly, unassumingly, so it doesn't trigger anybody in Australia or anywhere else around the world, they're going to build a world in which money could expire. So you add digital IDs to a world where money could expire? They're creating a new financial world. America's at it big time. I mean, if you're looking at crypto, the Ethereum and Bitcoin and XRP are all going through the roof. They're not hanging around. It's going to be the new frontier. Bitcoin is digital gold. So it means that the powers, the puppet masters, are going to start taking all of the physical gold around the world and taking it and hiding it and not using it. It'll become Bitcoin. Now, BlackRock and other organizations are buying a shit ton of Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up to $122,000 per coin the other day. I was offered it when it was £1,800. Imagine buying 10 of them. Oy, oy, oy. That was 20 years ago, though. So they're trying to create a new financial world in Australia. Keep your eyes on it, Australia. Or at least what they're trying to do is create a new financial world or geographically restrict money. And that is coming with the digital ID. Once they've got digital ID in, they can do whatever they want. Literally anything they want. And they want this end game done by 2030. It is only 5 years away. In fact, let me scare you. It is the same distance from the point where they locked us down in 2020, March 2020, to now. It's 5 and a bit years, 5.5 years if you want. So the same time scale from here to 2030, and that's the end game. They'll have everything implemented by 2030. And you think we've got a lot of time? Australia are jumping feet first into a world of programmable money. So the fiat currency, that's the pounds. Scotland have pound notes. England doesn't. We have the fivers, the tenors, the 20s, the 50s. All of that fiat currency, the paper money, is going. It'll be digital, programmable, geographically restricted money. So why do you think Mark Carney was put into power in Canada? Australia's already doing it. Mark Carney's in Canada doing it. That's why he's being put into Canada, to implement the World Economic Forum's bidding. Carney's a World Economic Forum puppet. That's why he was in the Bank of England. Don't you know? So this is a very, very, very scary world. It's a very unsure world and scary world. But you and I need to stick together. We need to make sure that this community that we have on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday is regularly together. Now, just as a little aside, I hope Vivin Darlow comes back to the body of the Kirk, because we recognise life takes people away, and sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. But I do hope that Vivin Darlow is well. I wish you good health and long life, Viv, and I do hope you come back and are interacting with the body of the Kirk. And there's a few other people that's also very Q at the moment. I'm not going to say the word. just as a little aside, I'm going to ask you another question. One for yes, two for no. Have you ever played this card game, Uno? Now, I haven't a clue. I literally haven't a clue. But Andrew James hasn't been here in a while. That is very true. Terry Wookford. It's been downplayed because of potential, let's say, for inflaming tensions. Gates, according to the Bad Wolf Project, is buying huge plots of land in Vietnam. Why? Rising manufacturing basin. China plus strategy, low labour costs. Interesting. So Tina Barrack's played Uno. The reason I ask this is because according to the papers today, Lucy Letby's playing the card game Uno with other people in jail. And I just thought, I've never heard of that. I mean, it was only a few years ago. I'd never heard of Canasta. Love the game. But Uno, is it kind of a really good... loads of people are saying no. Very interesting. So have you heard of the card game Uno? One for yes, two for no. Loads of people are saying no. Is it any good? Should hold a tournament. Lots of different versions. Thank you, Garen. Stephen Hall, Gates has his fingers in every pie, except the hairy ones, Stephen, and they're underage, mostly, according to the Epstein Island logs. Phil Levan, Uno is similar to the card game Switch. Tailblock Tracy says, isn't Uno a car by Fiat? Correct. It's shit, but it's approved by Ministry of Justice for use in prison. Is it really? A kid's card game used to play it with the grandkids, says Des Ashton. I've not. Game for middle classes. Hang on. Tina Barrack. It's great. Gets you thinking strategy. So does Canasta. I mean, I'm a bit pants at it. When we have family nights of Canasta games. Oh, God, I'm always last. Uno also sounds like a washing powder. Of course, David Graham. Very well spotted. Haven't heard of Uno, says Stuart. Me neither, Stuart. But I was aware of somebody wanting to create a bit of an Uno tournament. And then I saw Lucy Letby in the papers. I think it was in the Sun today, talking about she's playing Uno with other people in jail. How bizarre. Dominoes. Love them. Love a game of dummies. Final question for tonight, then I'll get on to some other stuff because I need to, I'm going to possibly another 10 minutes or so. 250 odd people. Oh, we're over 200. Brilliant. But if you're in and you're enjoying what you're hearing, please smash the likes. That's all I ask of you. Question one tonight. One for yes, two for no. It's a game you win by getting rid of your cards. Okay, got it. Question. And it's the Royals, because I know we've mentioned them tonight. We'll get back to Beckham, who obviously is not the brightest. He's definitely not doing Botox, because you can see all the lines in his forehead. Should the royal family allow Harry and Meghan back into the royal family fold? One for yes, two for no. Should the royal family allow Harry and Meghan back into the royal family fold? There is a reason I'm asking this. Oh, dear Lord. Two. Never. Tamara said two. God blimey, everybody's saying two. Fatal Racing Driver, two. Alan, two. Karina Jane, two. Napoleon Blown Apart, Feck, two. JKK, two. Dominic Beresford, Martine, Simon Simons, Pop-Eyed Wazza, Tom Harneys, not trustworthy. Blimey. Oh, honestly, I thought there might have been like one. Amalia is saying one and two. But the reason I ask is because this story arc of what's going on in the royal family, Charles the Weak, I mean, dear Lord. Look, my dad, as big an arsehole as he was, he would have just said, I'll bang your bloody heads together if you don't get this sorted. Sort it out. And whatever the beef, we would have to get it sorted. So why isn't Charles saying to William and Harry, oi, you two, I'll bang your bloody heads together if you don't get this sorted? And William will obviously go, well, I tried to get it sorted in his little college, and he said I ripped his necklace off his neck. Daddy, he's not a man. He wears necklaces. Hang on, what's Ray Norton said? Somebody said it's very good. Not uno, but dos. Uno, dos, tres, cuatros. Gail Scott Heron, The Bottle. Fabulous. Brian Jackson said, was it him or Brian Jackson? Brian Jackson played the flute. Because this story arc of Harry and Meghan, mate, just, look, if she's doing your head in, leave her. But if the sex is really good, because I've said to you, I think he's downstairs for dancing, upstairs for thinking. I think he's switched. All he's thinking is about the, you know, the, I would say horizontal jogging, but somebody else nicked that from me yet again. Chucky the Turd can get stuffed as well. Yeah, I'm with you, Alan. Charles the Weak, that's why I call him that. I know he's a young guy. He's in his 40s. He still, you know, can get it up with a blue without ye old blue tablet. But look, if she's giving you shit and but then again, we don't know whether he's not been able to find love. But trying to walk in a minefield in the same way that your mother did on the same weekend that Camilla has her birthday. Oi, 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 oi. That's brutal, man. Stuart says, my parents used to say to me and my sister as kids, sort it out or I'll bang your heads together. Sometimes worked. Yeah, I'm not advocating that they bang anybody else together, but it's just a phrase from parents who were abjectly frustrated by their children. Matthew Whedon, she needs to be given the Spanish Archer. I'm with you, but it's the same story arc every single time. It's Meghan, yacht girl. It's Meghan, can't have children. It's Meghan, moon bump. It's Meghan, this, that, and the other. She's a grifter. And then look, Harry just wants to have you know, quality punani, as someone once said, a spokesperson, obviously. But I mean, William says, Harold, old boy, don't be, or is it Henry? Don't be thinking with the little fella downstairs, because it'll just get you into trouble. And now he stays in hotels and away from her. It's like, oh, off, I'm out. I'll see you later. I mean, she gave bags of weed away at her first wedding, but now they're trying to say that Trevor Engelson is outing that she can't have kids. But nobody's seen anything in print from Trevor, the first husband, well, second husband, technically, because she was married to another Jewish guy. Yeah, Nicholas says he could probably bring down his father, and it's a stalemate. So, Amalia, yes, moon bump. She wasn't pregnant. She's never been pregnant with any children. Well, she has, the first one, for the first husband. And the family who've never come out and said anything. Because they know the brake pipes will end up being cut. They'll end up being shot by men in dark suits and sunglasses in the middle of the night. The king to tell the boys, sort it out, or else I will pass the crown over to Anne. Ooh, wouldn't that be good? Well, King Billy would just go around and say, right, Harold, come here. Poof. Hang on, where's Echo Bunny Woman? Bad Wolf Project. Interesting that Dan Wootton is exposing Meghan's moon bump. Something you have been saying for over 2 years. Because it's kind of, I don't know whether it's, certainly on YouTube and social media, it's kind of not who does it first, but it's who dares wins. So this rumor around her not being able to be pregnant because she fell pregnant at 18 and the family made a decision. Somebody adopted the child, went full term, adopted the child, and then somebody decided that she was, what can I say, like a barn door in a storm. And they had a hysterical rectum, so she can't have kids. But, you know, royals have sufficient money. They can have somebody else carry it because it's too posh to push. So they just had somebody else do it, all the hard work. And she was walking about with a moon bump that kind of kept slipping around. So the pregnancy was either up on her tits or down on her knees. And people were like, oh, I say, that's doing rather odd things. And then she was haunching down. And the moon bump was being really squashed. Well, it would have killed a kid. So the king to tell the boys, sort it out. All right, I've done that one. Thank you, Theo Bovril. Bad Wolf Project says, looking down at my belly, I either have a moon bump or it's my liking for chips that's done it. as Amalia Grasti says, I'm 15 months preggers. So was she, a couple of years. But he's not bright. He's not bright. He's been entitled and looked after all of his life. And with Harry, who's his daddy? Well, that conjecture. Paul Mabley. She bangs like a shithouse door in the wind, as my father would have said. Can't see me lips move. Ian McGee, a very odd knee pregnancy. I know. But look, it was a bit like, I remember me telling you the story about the polo match, where some guy had these women and said, look, whatever you do, like at half time of the polo match, they all go on the polo field and kind of put the sods of grass back into the playing area. And somebody was like, right, if you can get any of Ginger Bollocks' hair, then get them for me and we'll do a DNA test. Oi, oi, oi. The brown stuff probably hit the fan. I mean, it was like, well, what does it mean? All it'll mean is that we'll find out that Charles is Harry's dad. But no, God, it was as if somebody had dropped a nuclear bomb. It was all over the press. The guy that tried to organise it suddenly disappeared, never to be seen again. And the women were like, oh, sorry, we were just under orders. English Bottle Cap says, I don't know, he's married and never been divorced. But they're talking about, it's the continual, oh, he's going to be divorced by the end of the year. We were saying that 3 years ago. Oh, he's going to be divorced by the end of the year. Look, Harry can do whatever Harry wants. But I've told you before, the reason why he brings his kids into it is because for their safety, how to win shite. He wants internationally protected person status. Not for him, because he gets that as a blood prince, a blood royal. He wants internationally protected person for his wife, and it's for life. Once you get it, you can't have it taken away. He wants it for his wife, and he's using me kids. Well, you know what happens for internationally protected persons? Their nanny also gets the internationally protected person for life. And what happens with the nanny? Well, they take the kids around. Who's the nanny? Doria, an internationally protected person. What's their privilege? Well, they can take hand luggage, and the hand luggage is never searched. The hand luggage is taken through whatever country it is, because if they're IPP, they can carry anything, recreational gear, anything. And it could always be the nanny carrying whatever it is and never get searched. Can you see what's going on now? They don't tell you this in the bloody court case. They don't tell you this in the mainstream media. Of course they don't. Because that's letting the cat out of the bag. Talking of pussy. Harry is a Charles double. Eyes close together. Same nose. What, from the same plastic surgeon's book? Phil Levant, remember Charles used to meddle in politics with the spider letters? Of course. Now he's got the power to dissolve Parliament. He don't do jack. Well, he still is a bit of a meddler. He's still making these speeches all over the place. I see you. I'll do a hit and run and get away with it. Night, Gene Psychic. See you tomorrow night. Another live, 7:30, Tuesday night. So I think we'll wind it up there. Thank you to everyone that's been in the live tonight. I've very much enjoyed your comments. I hope you've enjoyed the information that I've given you. I've been very straight and honest with you. There's a lot of evil coming our way. We have to stick together. We have to. This is a fight to the death of good or evil, and we can't let evil win. The politicians are all corrupt. The politicians are all evil. Both sides of the Atlantic. I'm not so sure about the Donald, but he's bloodletting everything now. I think he's been panicked into doing some things early because of the Epstein list. I think the Epstein list eventually will have some eyeballs on it and some releasing into the general public. So thank you to everyone who's been in the live tonight. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. My name's Adrian Allen. This is the Theatre of the Mind, live 201, 202, Tuesday night, 7:30. We'll do it all again. And I promise you, I'm going to give you the answer about what to do with digital IDs, because the politicians can't be allowed to promulgate evil and win. Whatever you do, wherever you go, please stay well, stay healthy. Don't forget your Battenberg. It makes it more fragrant. And remember this. Adrian Allen's Theatre of the Mind is not a show. It's a mission. and we continue the mission tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:30. See you then.